we're living in the United States of amnesia. People really just don't remember how awful and terrible the Trump days were. I mean, there was a reason that he got voted out. And so now there's this weird kind of nostalgia for the Trump days, which if you look back at any of the headlines or any of what was going on, nobody was happy during that period of time. It was a complete upset all the time. So what Biden, I think, is trying to do, that message, Trump is for himself, resonates. People get that. That seems to be true. And Biden is fighting for you. That's where he's got to prove the point. The thing about it is, those of us who spend a lot of time with the news, we know Inflation Reduction Act is a lot of money to try to help build stuff. It sounds like gobbledygook. So you can't just get up there and say, look, I passed this ABC and this XYZ and this 1, 2, 3 and think people are going to be moved by that. People don't know what you're talking about. And so you've got to, on the one hand, punch hard on Trump and remind people that he is a chaos agent, but you got to get more specific. We just heard the price of eggs. Can you talk normal American and resonate and connect? That's what that ad is about. That's what he's got to be about on Thursday night.
Did you hear that crap? That was epic gaslighting. If you're not sure what gaslighting is, let me give you some edification. This is from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary website. Gaslighting, the psychological manipulation of a person, usually over an extended period of time, that causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories, and typically lead to confusion, loss of confidence, and self-esteem, uncertainty of one's emotional or mental stability, and a dependency on the perpetrator. I like that last part, the dependency on the perpetrator, meaning the person who's gaslighting. Gaslighting isn't just lying. It's total brainwashing. It's tricking people to believe in stuff that they know is untrue. What's worse from a political perspective is that there are so many libnuts and some independents out there who know they're being gaslit, but they really don't care. It's so bad that Democratic advisors are advising Dementia Joe not to talk about what he's done, or rather, what he's not done in the last 3 years. They really just want to pretend as if the last 3 years never happened. Everything's fine. Everything's great.
Sources are telling CNN that the president has now been told by his advisors to shy away from talking too much about what he's done for the bulk of the last 3 years.
If you can't talk about what you've done, or in his case, what you haven't done, gaslighting is all that's left. That's your only strategy moving forward. So for this debate, ignore what people have actually lived through for the last 3.5 years, rely on the script, and of course, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash to run interference for you. That's the entirety of the Dementia Joe debate strategy. You have to wonder, how dumb can some of these libnuts actually be? And the Dementia Joe campaign is out here embarrassingly telling people what they're going to do at the debate. And what they're going to do is go on stage with their Trump-hating moderators and look in the camera and just completely gaslight America. As I've said a few times recently, what you're about to see on Thursday night is complete theater. It truly will be the grand illusion. Some of y'all are probably old enough to remember the band Styx. They're still around, actually. But they made a song called The Grand Illusion. I won't sing it, but I want to show you a couple of the lyrics. Welcome to The Grand Illusion. Come on in and see what's happening. Pay the price, get your tickets for the show. The stage is set, the band starts playing. Suddenly your heart is pounding, wishing secretly you were a star. But don't be fooled by the radio, the TV, or the magazines. They show you photographs of how your life should be, but they're just someone else's fantasy. That song clearly defines what we'll be seeing on the debate stage on Thursday night. It's merely a vision of somebody else's fantasy. And that's all because Dementia Joe has nothing to talk about. 18 advisors doing things in an airplane hangar, having a mock stage mean nothing. And now he's sending out his carnival barkers to sell tickets to the show.
Why do voters feel like Donald Trump can handle it better in poll after poll?
And she's talking obviously about immigration.
Kate, look, the fact of the matter is our policy is working. Our policies are working.
You see what I mean? Complete gaslighting, looking right in the camera, lying to this woman, lying to America. It's working. Our policy is fine. Don't worry about what you see on the news. That's just some other stuff you shouldn't be looking at. I'm going to tell you the truth. It's working. The audacity of these people.
We need our system fixed. The numbers that we inherited in 2021 were on the cusp of the COVID-19 pandemic and do not speak to the trends in immigration preceding the pandemic.
Wow.
What we have done, what this administration has done, is we have brought the economy moving forward. We have conquered.
No, you haven't. See what I mean? Complete gaslighting. Go on a television show. You know this woman on CNN's not going to argue with you, and you just spew whatever you want and say it enough where you hope people just believe it.
The COVID-19 pandemic more rapidly and more effectively than any other country. And so with a booming economy and with a healthy American public, we have...
See how she just looked down? She doesn't believe it, but she's got her marching orders, obviously, not to rebut what this guy's saying. She doesn't believe it. She's not buying it, but she's paid to basically look the other way.
We gained our stature as the place of destination where everyone wants the opportunities that only America offers.
Like I said, it's all an illusion. It's complete gaslighting. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. If you know what you're looking for, you can easily see it. Just look in the camera, tell them your message, your propaganda, be as Orwellian as you possibly can. Tell them just do not believe what your eyes and ears are telling you. I'm going to be telling you what's really going on. And they're using the complicit media to actually further their gaslighting efforts. That's because Dementia Joe cannot possibly speak on any issue based on truth and facts. The data is clear, even if their message isn't.
At 71%, that's obviously been an issue that Joe Biden's been hitting upon. So these are the three top major factors. So the question is, who do voters trust more on these issues, Joe Biden or Donald Trump? Well, on inflation, this is where Donald Trump wants to be playing. Look at that, an 18-point lead over Joe Biden. The economy, another area where Donald Trump would be happy to play ball. Look at that, a 13-point lead in average of polls on the economy for the former president. The only one of those top major factor issues where Joe Biden leads is the state of democracy. Look at that, a 7-point advantage, which is not half bad, but I think if you asked a lot of folks on the Democratic side, they would hope this margin would climb ever higher. And I guess Thursday's debate is a chance for them, or at least a chance for Joe Biden to sort of push that message home.
Because they can't speak and that they can't refute the data, you have to understand that gaslighting is all they have as a strategy. Watch this insanity.
And talk policy on Thursday, which remains an open question. We'll see what kind of performer he is that night. One of the places he's undoubtedly going to go is to inflation, which everybody across the country is feeling despite all that economic data we talk about all the time that is so strong. The economy's thriving. Talk about things cost.
Whoa, stop. Did you hear that? How just so simple that flowed out of his mouth? You know, everybody knows that the economy is thriving. Really? Did you just say that from your studio in New York or Washington and just expect everybody to just nod along and believe it? It's all BS.
Too much. He'll look into the camera maybe and say, you know that your cereal costs too much. He'll go down the list of groceries and gas. How will the president address that criticism?
So basically what he's saying is Trump's going to say that, the price of gas and the price of cereal is too high, even though it's not true. He's going to lie and say it. No, it is true. But you're basically putting out a plan to try and let people not to believe their reality.
So here's the thing. This is something that we've been talking about for some time, right? The economy. And you're right. The data shows that the economy is indeed strengthening.
What data is she talking about that shows that the economy is strengthening? Not the data that people see every single day when they go to the grocery store, to the gas pumps, paying their rent, their mortgage. Interest rates are still through the roof. What data is she even talking about?
Stronger. And we understand that we came out of a pandemic, a once-in-a-century pandemic.
So now you see what their message is going to be Thursday. Mayorkas said it, and now she's saying it. What they're going to be relying on is that, hey, things were bad because, everything was closed down. And that's the measuring stick. You have to measure everything against when everything was closed down. See, this all happened. We just walked into office and it was like, oh my God, what do we do? Everybody's sick. That's going to be their message come Thursday. I guarantee you.
And the work that this president did from the American Rescue Plan to the bipartisan infrastructure legislation to the Inflation Reduction Act, all of these historic pieces of legislation has helped this country get back on its feet.
See, she's telling you. right there. She's telegraphing to the media and she's telegraphing to the libnuts, hey, we've done all this thing to get back on our feet. That's the problem. It's unemployment, inflation, don't worry about that. We're moving in the right direction. We just need more, 4 more years.
So yes, eggs and milk, and there were grocery things that were up. It has gone down. It has gone down since 2022. Gas prices, because of the actions that this president took, and let's not forget there was an invasion, but Russia did obviously into Ukraine.
Oh, again, it's Russia's fault. Russia.
Ukraine that caused gas prices to tick up. The president.
How about the fact that he stopped drilling, that he doesn't allow the pipeline? How about all those things? No, it's Russia. That's the problem. Again, gaslighting you. You're not supposed to know these things. You're not supposed to question these things.
Took action, tapped the SPR, and we saw gas prices go down.
So you're telling me that your strategy was tapping the oil reserves, the strategic petroleum reserves, use that, drain it to artificially try and decrease gas prices. That's a presidential strategy? Are you kidding me?
The president has met the moment with every issue that we have had in front of us. The president obviously talks about that often. He's going to have another opportunity on Thursday to speak to those issues. And look, we're talking about Donald Trump, which I just mentioned, the Dobbs decision. The reason why we have chaos right now.
The reason we have chaos right now. What chaos is she talking about? Chaos at the border? Chaos with our economy? How is the chaos that people are seeing every single day Donald Trump's fault? Oh, she's about to tell you.
After the Dobbs decision, the reason why after Roe v. Wade was overturned after it being constitutional law for 50 years, is because of what Donald Trump did in his administration. And now IVF is on the line. Contraception is on the line.
Really? I haven't heard Trump talk about taking contraception off the market. Haven't heard that whatsoever. Again, gaslighting. Understand, this is what they're going to be talking about Thursday. They don't want you focused on the economy. They want to talk to you about the pandemic, and they want to talk to you about removing babies. That's what's most important right now.
Thinking about when I was sitting here before starting this conversation, there's some of us who have young children. Can you believe that we have more rights? We had more rights growing up than our kids. That's because of the Trump administration and what they were able to do. So there's a lot.
Notice she doesn't explain that Trump took away all these rights. I'm not sure, because as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing that Trump did to inhibit my rights.
There's a lot here. There's a big contrast in what...
Oh, yeah, there's a huge contrast. Having to watch out what I say on this platform. Having to watch out what videos I talk about. Having to watch out what different topics I talk about. Having to live through the insanity of these people dressing up like you-know-what at grade school. Having to watch boys play girls' sports. Yeah, these are all the things that you guys put in place, not Trump.
We're trying to do on behalf of the American people, majority of Americans, what they want to see and what we see congressional Republicans, extreme Republicans do.
Majority of people want to see boys and girls sports. Majority of people want to see, those kind of shows in kindergarten. I don't think so, honey. I don't think you've got any data that says that's what the American people want. In fact, overwhelmingly, the American people, I think it was almost 70% of people said, deport all these people. So what are you talking about? The American people want to see all this. It's not true. It's pure gaslighting. Are you starting to see what's going on and what their real plan is? Unfortunately for Dementia Joe, some people in his own camp are beginning to realize this might be a lost cause.
Democrats appear to be getting a bit nervous about President Biden's re-election bid. You'll remember a couple of months ago, Biden's campaign had confidence they could win Florida. Now the Biden campaign is ruling Florida out.
Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, clearly battleground states, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia. We have a discussion about whether you want to include North Carolina. You would agree all those 6 are battleground states, the ones that I mentioned. North Carolina's a battleground state?
Yes.
Florida?
No.
Thank you. I was afraid you were going to lie.
He actually just said, I was worried you were going to lie. Wow. Imagine that there are some people in the media who realize that part of their strategy is to basically come onto a news program and lie to people. And you got to see this. Right now, the abject fear they have of the gaslighting not working is rising all the way to the top of the Democratic Party. It's gone to one of the chief puppeteers, one of the chief puppet masters is now worried that this gaslighting is not going to work.
Hunkering down with advisors at Camp David to prep for Thursday's CNN presidential debate, but some top Democrats, including former President Barack Obama, are reportedly expressing doubts about his strategy and his chances for winning in November. Karl Rove, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff, also a Fox News contributor, joins us now. Good morning, Karl. You know, this story pops up in the New York Magazine. What Obama is whispering to Biden, the president's plan to save their legacy from Trump. Here's an excerpt of it. Though his anxiety about the election is real, in the words of one Obama friend, the ex-president's concerns sounded a lot like those of other top Democrats. Those who are in regular touch with Obama say these nerves are not a reflection of any particular angst about Biden or his team, but of the broader reality. The country is closely divided, the media landscape is fractured, and Donald Trump may very well win.
Donald Trump may very well win? They're just now realizing that? Well, maybe that's why we're seeing this sham of a debate. They worked with CNN to come up with the worst rules to make this the most unfair experience for Donald Trump. They wanted no audience to distract Dementia Joe so that possibly he could hear his communication device that they probably implanted in his ear. They made sure to have not one but two Trump-hating moderators who've got a trigger to turn off Trump's microphone whenever they want. Undoubtedly, there will be questions that they specifically crafted to help Dementia Joe get his message out. In fact, they may have already given him the question. Perhaps that's what they've been practicing on for the last week. Don't say it's not possible. Donna Brazile already did it to Hillary. And so these questions that they're crafting are going to be about the issues that no one in America really cares about. And then to make sure that everything is sanitized, they're not even allowing people on any network, even on YouTube, to comment on this charade. You can't even watch the debate and comment on it. Nope, can't happen. You're gonna have to wait till after, or you can do some commentary before, but no commentary during the debate. This is indeed gaslighting on an epic level. And it's a shame that there are so many people in America who are okay with the gaslighting and manipulation because Orange Man bad. It really is the grand illusion. Hey, listen, the big debate between Dementia Joe and Trump is scheduled for June 27th, if it happens. And I'll be broadcasting it live, and I want you to join me. If you've watched any of my live broadcasts, you know we have a ton of fun. 300,000 people tuned in to see my live broadcast of the Las Vegas rally, and I gave away a fabulous trip. So be sure to join me for the big debate. It will be undoubtedly a lot of fun, and who knows, you might win something. Just click here to register to be notified as soon as I go live. Thanks, and talk to you soon. Hope to see you at the debate.